Welcome to another episode of Day Drinking and Tarot, and I am so excited for this one. We are at the Merkin Vineyards just outside of Sedona, Arizona. Merkin is connected to the lead singer of the band Tool. And I'm giving away my age because I am forever 30. I am a Tool fan, and I have been hearing about this and drinking the wine from Merkin for a long time. But knowing that I can actually come into the vineyard itself, I'm super pumped. So let's have a little day drinking, talk a little tarot and transformation, and come and join me. The Merkin Vineyard, and I am in their Trattoria, which of course is Italian for restaurant, ristorante. And I'm sitting at the bar, of course, one of my favorite places to be. Part of that is my introversion, and part of that is just the experience, being able to look at the view and take it all in and see what is happening, being able to people watch and be a part of it without being in it, if that makes sense. And so our card for today, I'm so excited to share with you, is the Star card. And the Star card is one of my absolute favorite cards in the deck. It is connected to the astrological sign of Aquarius, which means that it beats to the tune of its own drum. It is very imaginative and fantastical in a lot of ways. And the Star card is really all about, thank you so much. That looks incredible. I appreciate it.
All of those pieces are super dense.
I love it. Thank you. I just had a fabulous cheese board delivered to me, so I'm very excited about that. So the Star card is all about that vision, new vision, being able to think outside the box, expanding outside of what you know so that you can go as big as you were meant to go. We can talk a little bit about purpose with this card, but I feel like it's purpose only from the perspective of how big do you want to be? The Star card says go big or go home. Imagine, as far as you understand, I want to say go to the stars that are just outside of Mother Earth, and then use your imagination to see what possibly is beyond them. That's what the Star card invokes. It invokes a lot of new potential, new possibility, encouraging you to think bigger than you've ever thought. This also, in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot, is a card of healing. It's the healer card. And what that basically means is if you have a vision, if you can connect with, I want to say, the insides and the outsides of what is going on in your life, in your world, illness and dis-ease can no longer take root. So if you're thinking big and you're thinking in that higher vibrational frequency energy, and you're thinking about all the possibilities, it means that you're not stuck or rooted in the pain of now, or the frustration of now, or the lack of now, because we as humans have been taught to focus a lot on lack. So I have asked Javen, he is my fabulous bartender, the bartender with the mostest today, to pick a wine out for us that embodies all of the characteristics of this Star card. And let's see what Javen's come up with for us today. Javen does not disappoint. He has chosen a 100% Tempranillo. This is part of the Caduceus line. And I have to say to you, caduceus, of course, is the healing symbol, the symbol for healing and medicine. So I don't even think he clued into that. That might have been a subconscious thing for him, because I was really focused on the vision piece. But he chose the caduceus. Sorry, I'm trying to get it where you don't see. There we go, where you don't see the shadow. And this is a 2021 100% Tempranillo. This is that beautiful Merkin. It was produced in Jerome, Arizona, which of course I'm loving that it is an official Arizona wine. Let me tell you a little bit about it. It's called the Caduceus Sancha, and it is 100% Tempranillo from the Elefante block in Cornville, Arizona. So it says it's bottled in Jerome, but the vineyard is in Cornville. And stay tuned, because there are going to be future episodes where you're going to actually see some vineyards in Cornville. So I think that's really cool. It says, enjoy the long lingering finish of this Rioja style wine. So can't wait to check this out. All right, so we're going to take a little sip. And first of all, on the nose, it's so delicious. There's a little bit of sweetness, but it's not too sweet. It's ripe, but not overripe. I'm smelling a hint of spring. And of course, spring is new, right? When we are in that season of spring, everything is possible. So many potentials. You're in the process of everything growing, and I want to say it's very phoenix rising, throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. All right, let's do a first taste. Oh, I'm really enjoying this. I'm tasting raspberry right at the back of my throat and right in the juicers. I'm tasting raspberry, so there's a little tart, a little sweet. I'm also getting a lot of cherry body with this. Little subtle hint of smoke. Second sip, it's like a pucker in the back of my throat. And I love that. It spreads out. It expands. And I want to say it's not unpleasant. It's not like super pleasant, but it's not unpleasant. So you hit it at first and you think, ooh, is this vinegary? Is this a little acidic? But then when you allow the tongue to taste the liquid, to taste the wine, oh, it's so divine. It's so delicious. And I want to say that hint of smoke. Smoke is really important when you're talking about alchemy, the alchemization, taking 2 or 3 or maybe more different resources and putting them together to create something new and something different. And there's effort in that. And you want to think about it in terms of forging something in the fire, bringing things together. It's going to create a bit of a chemistry to it in order to be able to form something new. And isn't that exactly what creating new vision is all about? I don't know about you guys, but whenever I have had that, I want to say that inspiration, it does kind of feel like the wheels are turning and the steam and the smoke is coming out of my head, especially when I'm really onto something. So I'm definitely feeling a lot of that energy. Let's take a third sip and see what we got.
You guys doing all right?
Oh, this one's nice. I'm tasting some greenery. Not like grass, not like green grass. No, I often taste that in like a Sauvignon Blanc. This tastes a little more like the vision that I have in my head is like fern. Like, I don't know what it would be like to eat fern, but I'm seeing fern in my mind. So just think the newness of everything, that first blush, that first bloom, the first 2 or 3 sprigs that come out of a stalk, a flower stalk or a flower stem. That's what this stuff looks like. So I have to say, Javen he nailed it. He picked exactly the right wine to describe this fabulous star card, and I'm loving it. honest conversation about the star card. When we're talking about transformation, energy transformation in terms of my understanding of it, my journey of it, what I really want to talk about is the fact that when we are visioning, when we are having an inspiration, an inspired thought, or just imagining something that is bigger than where we're at right now, there can be this need for it to happen now. Or if it's not happening now, we can shut it off before it actually starts to grow. Well, but that's not possible. That could never happen. That doesn't even exist right now. So how could that ever be? And I want to say we cut off our nose to spite our face, right? We stop the expansion before it's even fully begun. And in terms of my own personal journey, I want to share with you guys, and you know, speaking as a true A-type who thinks that everything should be like right now and like, where is it, universe? Come on, I manifested it. Where is it? Like, it needs to be here. I manifested it yesterday. It should be here today. This card really imbues and embodies a lot of, I want to say, divine order and timing, similar to the Wheel of Fortune, because we can envision and we can go as far as we can possibly imagine, and then, you know, stretch it outside the bounds. But if we are putting limitation to it, if we are putting expectation to it, we kill it before it's even able to flow. So I don't remember, and I think I've talked about this in a previous episode, so forgive me for repeating myself. I will be quick. I was like 22, 23 the first time I came out to Arizona for the first time. And it was literally a spiritual experience for me. It changed my life. It's the only place on the planet that I have ever like stood on terra firma and said, oh my God, I've been here before. Oh my God, this is home. So having that, you know, spiritual experience, that energetic connection, what that did for me at, you know, 22 and 23 years of age was it planted a seed. And the seed that it planted was, I could be really happy here. And this is a place that I would like to, at the very least, have an opportunity to explore to some degree at some point in my life. And this was at a time when my vision, my ability to see beyond my own current circumstances was pretty limited. I struggled a lot with the day-to-day, with the things that were going on in my life. I was singing opera at the time and a, you know, starving artist, you know, trying to make it big in a world that, quite frankly, was kind of dying off. And you know, it's like saying you want to be an actor in Hollywood. I mean, it's highly competitive. You know, there are a lot of people who can, you know, who are very good, and it's a matter of taste. You know, it's subjective. It's just, you know, finding the person that jives with your vibe and your vision and, you know, all the things and stuff. So I didn't realize then, because I came here for an audition, ironically, I didn't realize then that I was planting seeds. And there were a couple of times when I had the opportunity to come out here thinking that I was moving out here permanently, and it just wasn't the right time. And it was devastating. And I could never understand. I was like, why, universe, why? Why have you brought me to this place only to tear it from me? And again, I've gone through this in previous segments, so I promise there's a point to this. The star card helped me to plant seeds. And I'm going to say to you, I'm forever 30 now. At 22 and 23, I never saw myself where I'm at right now. I couldn't see past a particular age or a particular space in my world. Being where I'm at now, living here, having this experience, doing the thing, I'm going to say to you that would I have loved to have been here 10 years sooner? Fuck yeah. No question, hands down. But I also would have not had the experiences, met the people, and shaped myself, become who I've become, had I not had those other experiences. And while I was going through those experiences, there was the thought that Arizona is a distant dream. Living in Arizona, living in that my happy place or in that space is a dream. And always the possibility with any vision that you have, any expansion that you have, that sometimes it's better on paper than it is, it's great in theory, but it's not so great in practice, right? It's better on paper than it is in real life. That has not been the case. But what I can say to you is, even though this took quite a few years, and we're talking it spans a couple of decades, in order for me to get here and get to where I'm at, I wouldn't change a thing. I'm so happy to be here now. And this just speaks to that beautiful manifestation of co-creation power that each of us has. And understanding that there were so many times when I held firm and did not understand how the universe worked. I mean, I put myself on real estate lists, to buy property here. And I didn't understand at the time what I was doing. What I was doing was telling the universe, hey, this is a vision that I have. This is what I want. And I hadn't even gone fully into exploring what the vision could be at that point. It was just, I want to be here. I like how I feel when I'm here. I want to be here. And I want to be here permanently. And the universe saw fit to provide plenty of vacations. I think I vacationed here at least 14 times from that first time that I was here, and terra firma and crying and the whole thing. Oh my God, what is happening to me? Because this feels like home. I vacationed here multiple times. I want to say to you, I think it was 14 times, which is interesting because it's 5. 14 is a 5 numerologically, which is change and transformation. It's a number of the Phoenix. So there's that. But I also want to say to you that I wonder if maybe I could have gotten here a little sooner had I not gotten in my own way. There were many opportunities where I was in the flow and something would happen, and sometimes the universe just says it's not the right time. But sometimes the universe is like, okay, well, we showed you a way and you got in the way of it. You chopped it down. You didn't believe that it was something that you could actually, have or experience or afford or whatever it is. So being here now, experiencing all of this now, I'm going to say to you, it doesn't matter how long it took me to get here. I'm here now, in this moment, presently, sitting here on top of this incredible rooftop restaurant, looking out over Red Rock Mountain, looking at aspects of the Grand Canyon, this one of the 7 wonders of the world. And I'm just so in awe of the fact that I'm here, and not in awe, in gratitude, because I also know that I co-created this. I manifested this. And yeah, it started, 20 plus years ago. But when it started, here I am now. And am I thinking about all the time that I could have been here, whatever? Am I thinking about I wish I had been here sooner? Sometimes that thought crosses my mind. But for the most part, no, I don't give a flying fuck. Because here I am right now, and this is my life right now, and this is my experience right now, and these are the things that I'm having. These are the people that I'm interacting with. This is who I'm growing into, who I'm expanding into, and who I'm becoming. Because it's the right timing, divine order and timing. I finally got out of my own way. So I'm offering this to you guys because I feel like the Star card is really about giving yourself permission to think big and to go big or go home. And to not put attachment to how the outcome is going to be. Because I'm going to tell you right now, it's better than I could have ever imagined. And, are there places that I would like to be? Are there some things that I would like to have that are a little bit different? Sure. But I want to say overall, no. It's literally just the beginning of the journey. I don't need to have all the things and the stuff and all the bells and whistles. that signify the end of the journey. I'm at the beginning of it, and that's the joy of it, is allowing myself the ability to expand, to have the journey, to have the experience, to learn about who I am, to fully embrace and embody this expansion that has been presented to me. When you wish upon a star, is what I keep hearing. Falling star, shooting stars, we wish upon them. This is my wish come true. And I have to say to you, I've had many wishes come true. This one, from a transformational perspective, is one that was a long time in the making. Who's to say whether I could have been here sooner or not? It's not for me to say, and it doesn't matter because I'm here now. But I offer it to you guys because so often we think big and get excited and we stomp on it. We smash it. Sometimes other people smash it for us. But most of the time, I want to say we're smashing our own dreams. And I'm so glad as I'm sitting here, sipping this delicious glass of wine, it's just a gorgeous day. It's 79 degrees. I'm in the mountains. It's beautiful. I'm so glad that I did not sabotage this. I'm so glad that even though it took me a long time, I'm here now. And the foundation is solid. And I can grow where I'm planted. My wishes have come true. So, where in your life is the universe inviting you to go a little deeper, to go a little broader, to get out of your own way and imagine the most amazing, the most fantastical, the most impossible things that you would absolutely love to experience, would die for the experience. Because this is what this card is about. Allowing yourself to go into that space, to go beyond what you can absolutely see and know and taste and touch as being a possibility. It's inviting you to grow beyond that, to go even bigger. It's a time for us all to be, I want to say, inventors. It's a time for us to bring absolutely new, unheard of, progressive things into our now. Because even if it doesn't happen in this now, it's going to be in your now when it shows up. And it's going to be delicious. It's going to be delightful. So don't stop yourself from that. Take a look at where you're stopping yourself from expanding into those amazing dreams, those amazing desires, those amazing imaginations. And allow yourself, maybe just once, to go beyond what you can envision and what you can prove and what you can taste and what you can touch. Go beyond it. Oh, the places you'll go.
It is our energy temperature check. Where are we at energetically in the collective? Are we mild, medium, hot, or extra spicy? It's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes.
I want my temperature check.
Hello, Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive, and it's getting hot in here. Let's do an energy temperature check to see whether we are mild, medium, hot, or extra spicy. And in this particular segment, what I'm really wanting to hone in on and focus in on is the actual energy of our now and our present moment. And I am feeling that we are in extra spicy. And I feel like we've been in extra spicy for a little while now. And so that means that we're starting to get a little crispy. I'm seeing, me frying up meatballs in the frying pan. And it's kind of like, it's really time to take these meatballs out because they're starting to get a little bit, brown, almost brown to black, right? So we're kind of making them a little extra crispified. And so if you can relate to this analogy, if you're the one who's feeling like, okay, stop the world, I want to get off, take me out of the frying pan here. I need a little break. I need a rest. I need to stop cooking for a while. You are not alone. And I'm feeling like this is the energy that we're going to be in. I want to say I'm seeing the number 7. I feel like we're going to be in that for the next 7 days from the time that you watch this video. And so it's going to be really important for you on an individual level to make sure that you are practicing a lot of self-care. But it's not the kind of self-care, I want to say, that gives you the peaceful, floaty spa type feeling. I feel like this is the kind of self-care where you're going to a smash room and you are breaking shit because you need to expel the rage, the fear, the sadness, the angst, because that is what this energy is about. It's grating on our nerves. And for those of you watching this, I feel like most of us have been kind of in that state for a few days now. It's like, I like to call it, it's like the fear and dread under the surface. You can't really put your finger on it, on why you're feeling what you're feeling. You just know that, like, you're irritated or you're angry about shit, but you don't know exactly what you're angry about. So if you can relate, and if this is you, the self-care that is really coming to mind for you guys right now is movement, physical expression, even dancing it out. It's the physical movement of the body that's going to shake up that energy and expel it from the body. And I feel like this is really important, guys. We need to expel this shit from our bodies, especially because we're going to be in this for another 7 days. If you're already feeling crispy, it's only going to get worse, not better. So this is, I want to say, refueling the tank, but doing it a little bit different. Not in that calm harnessing, oh la la la, listening to the music. That's not going to do shit for you. It's not going to work at all. For those of you who are really craving that peace, that quiet, what I'm seeing for you guys is creating a little ritual for yourselves where you're doing something that can expel some of that heightened energy. I'm seeing, listening to music, listening to maybe some like heavy metal music, or going into the, the grunge phase a little bit. Listen to 1 or 2 songs, get it all stirred up, and then go out in nature and sit and do something soft and fuzzy and cuddly, because you're stirring it up to the point where you're bringing it to the surface. And then you can go and harness your chi and get the peace. So this is not a time to sit around and think that rest and peaceful places are going to be all that you need to kind of sink your teeth into it. That's not what this is about. I feel like it's an expression, a physical expression of getting that energy out there. Also, for those of you who are in the situation of looking for work right now, here's just a little word of caution. I feel like there are a lot of people right now in the workforce that are feeling a lot of this internalized rage, anger, fear. And what's happening is because you are a new person coming in, they don't have a previous connection to you. So it's easy to project onto somebody that you don't know some of your own, unprocessed shit. So for those of you who are seeking out jobs and maybe you have an interview and it doesn't go very well, obviously, do your due diligence. If you really screwed up the answers or you weren't really prepared, then okay, then own that, that's on you. But what I'm really feeling here is, don't beat yourself up if you went in and you did the best that you could and you were feeling some frosty tones. I feel like in that regard, it's not about you. You're dealing with individuals who are going into a scarcity space. And they're in that scarcity space where they're like, okay, I hate this work that I'm doing, or I hate what it is that I'm having to do right now, but I have to do it in order to keep my job. So you're running into people who are suppressing their rage, suppressing their fear in order to survive. And I encourage all of you watching this today to shift out of survival mode and go into thrival mode. What does that mean exactly when we're talking about the extra spicy? It means expressing and expelling that rage in a safe, harmless way. and then going out and being you and doing you and bringing your light and living your truth. That's going to serve you much more than being a bit unconscious about it or taking other people's behavior personal, especially in the workforce, especially for those of you who are seeking new work. Just be prepared. Not everyone's going to explode in your face, but you are going to have a consistent experience where you're running into people, places, and things like that. So that is our energy temperature check for this week. I want to leave you all with this thought. There's this concept in the spiritual community that anger and rage is not acceptable. And I'm going to say to you guys right now, I am, 99.999% love and light. And I am definitely that 0.1% fuck you. And it's important that we be honest with ourselves about the fact that we do have the light and the shadow, that anger and rage can be a motivator. It can align us. It's like anything else. It's a sign. It's a roadmap or a detour. It's hey, there's a pit here. Go around, drive around the hole in the road, because otherwise you're going to drive into the hole and you're going to get stuck and you're going to damage your car. And it's going to be a big pain in the ass to get out of it. So if you are resonating with what I'm saying here and you are feeling that rage or that sadness or the fear or just a lot of anger, don't beat yourself up over it. Don't try to talk yourself out of it. Understand that, okay, there is this coming up for me because it's now an opportunity for me to align. If I'm feeling anger towards something or rage towards something, then it gives me a focus. What can I do? Yeah, we can talk about the collective all day long, but it's about you and how you can help yourself. So I get asked all the time from clients, this weird thing happened to me. Am I crazy or am I psychic? And I always want to say to them, no, you're not crazy. You're absolutely experiencing psychic phenomenon. So let's explore if you have some weirdness going on in your life that isn't saying that you're crazy, but actually means that you got some psychic ability. Shalom all, Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive, and welcome to this segment of Black Feather Couture, Defining a VIP Life, where we are doing Am I Psychic? And of course, I have my fabulous cohort, Keone, joining me today. Keone, how the hell are you?
I am doing terrific.
Oh, for a second, I thought you were going to say terrible, terrific.
No, I am. I'm doing terrible and terrific. That's why I said terrific.
So it's a combo. It's a combo of the two. Well, you know what? I think you and I are in the same boat because I'm kind of feeling that way too. I got a couple of different things going on. One part of me I feel is compartmentalizing itself over here, and the other part of me is like, but everything else is great. Terrific feels spot on for the day.
It's crazy because some of the questions that are gonna be asked by some people in the Am I Psychic segment, you're not even gonna get to answer them. I'm gonna have an answer for it before you even get to say something, and we're gonna move on.
Okay, it's gonna be one of those shows.
Prime example. Nick says, "I can tell when someone is lying." I'm sorry, Jessica says, "I can tell when someone is lying." Is that intuition or something else? No, you're a mom. Okay, moving on.
It's true. That could be that you're just a mom and you've figured it out. But no, I would definitely say that's your intuition. That's definitely your sixth sense that's letting you know that something's a little off, something doesn't feel right. That's definitely an intuitive thing.
I feel like The reason why I said that is because some people are just terrible liars, and you don't need to be intuitive to tell that they're lying.
Well, it's true. The pathological liars, the reason why they can trip up so many people is because they've mastered the art of using truth, half an ounce of truth into the lie that they tell. And then there are those that actually believe their lie. And because they believe their
Mhm.
lie, you believe their lie, because to them, they're not being deceptive, and therefore they're not giving off any deceptive vibes. So,
And
yeah.
what's funny, they're both combated the same exact way. You learn to how do you combat both those people? Just ask follow up questions.
True. Yes, absolutely. Ask follow-up questions and listen to the answer and believe them when they tell you uh, what it is. Don't necessarily believe what they're saying, believe what you're feeling around what they're telling you, because they always reveal themselves in the end.
Okay, Priya. Priya says, is there a way to confirm if I am truly clairvoyant or just imaginative?
Oh, sure. There are ways to get validation around that. I mean, the first thing that's kind of popping into my head, I'm clairvoyant as well, so I see things in my mind's eye, like on a movie screen. Those like little psychic cards that you would get, I think they were part of the psychology aspect of things. But you see the symbols, the three wavy lines, the triangle, the square, the circle. People hold it up, and you determine what it is that if you're doing that kind of thing, you're working the muscle. So don't look at it as, oh, I tried the exercise once and I didn't get any of them right, so I must not be psychic. I feel like it's using tools like that to bring out, to work the muscle of your psychic ability and your psychic energy. Because for some of us, it's like a little bit open. It's like kind of waving a little bit. It's like the dress caught in the door. The little bit of the dress, is showing and it's waving in the wind, but you want to open the door in order to be able to, free the dress kind of thing. It's that kind of energy. There are definitely different practices that you can do to practice that muscle, flex that muscle, build up the skill in essence, because it's there. And then you have validation for what it is that you're receiving. Also, a fun way to do this, I do this all the time with my Playing with the Universe segment, co-creation, co-create Mondays or something. Up level your co-creation. That's what it is. Is you play with the universe. So you say to the universe, all right, today on my walk, universe, I want to be given proof. I want you to validate that, that I'm connecting with you and that you're hearing me. So I want you to give me a sign. And maybe it's, I want you to show me a pink feather with blue polka dots, for example. Or I want to come across 10 birds on my path, on my walk today. And that is the sign, the symbol, the proof that I'm working out ahead of time with you to know that the message that you sent me is valid, or the message that you sent me is accurate. Or, okay, I asked you for this information. You've given me this information. Now I'm not sure if it's psychic or if I'm just making it up, if it's all in my head. So send me validation. I want to hear this sign 3 times, or I want to hear from somebody 3 times, or I want to receive validation 3 times. And what'll happen is you'll go out on that walk, you'll get the feather in some capacity, you'll see the 10 birds, you'll be in the doctor's office forgetting about whatever, and you sit and you open up a magazine, and all of a sudden on the magazine, to the page that you flip open, is the very subject that you just received the guidance or the message on. And you're like, okay, there's validation 1. Is I open up this random thing and there's information there. Then I go to the grocery store and I bump into an old friend who has no idea what I've, been working on or working through. And they happen to say something that correlates to, whatever it is. And then the third thing is I come home, I get the mail and I open up the mail, and all of a sudden there's a a symbol of whatever it is that third validation. So there are ways to flex your muscles, and there are ways to work with the universe, play with the universe to get that validation. And I always err on the side of, have fun with it. It doesn't always have to be such a chore. You don't have to be so serious with it or serious about it. Play with the universe, have fun with the universe. And the goal is not to get outlandish, but you can definitely, sort of play with the boundaries around that. Like I say, a pink feather with blue polka dots. Okay, like I don't live in an area where there are a lot of pink birds, and certainly not a lot of blue polka dots that are coming up, right? So I don't know how that feather would come up, but maybe there's a blue butterfly with pink polka dots that shows up in my path. And don't dismiss that, because that's the guide saying, okay, we weren't able to do this for you, but we can do this for you instead. And hopefully you receive the message. So be playful, and you can ask them to, stretch outside the box as well. And then it's fun. You're engaging and you're interacting with that. And then that builds your confidence in your own psychic ability. Cool question.
Thank you.
Nothing.
I was having a whole different show on the other side of the camera as you were talking. When you were talking, and I was listening, and I got lost in what you were saying. And then when I came back, it was polka dots, and I was laughing. I was like, "What the hell is happening right now?"
Like, oh my God, how am I supposed to jump back into this segment? I don't even know what the fuck we're talking about.
That was one of those ones we always talk about where you get into an answer and then you get deep, and then it's like I look up 5 minutes later and I'm like, oh, she's still answering that question.
Right. By now, dude,
I know.
Brevity.
I know. It still catches me. I don't know exactly what this means, so you're going to have to help me. From Sierra.
Okay.
How can I tell if I'm experiencing clairaudience or just my own thoughts?
Clear hearing. So I would say to you, Sierra, it's much the same answer that I just gave about the clairvoyance. Is, there's this stigma out there that, oh my God, if you hear voices, you have a mental condition or a mental illness. That's not true. We have all different types of voices in our heads. We sometimes think in our mother's voice or our father's voice. Sometimes we think in a teacher's voice. Sometimes we hear the teacher's voice in our head. From our spirit guides, sometimes they come through with a different sound or a different timbre, a different voice. I'm divine feminine. I'm a female, or identify as a woman. When I hear male voices in my head, I know that is not coming from me. That's a spirit guide, or that's a loved one in spirit that is coming through, right? So how do you delineate and determine that? I would say to you, it is in your head a lot of times. There are some psychics who do hear things outside of themselves, but that's, I want to say, less common than the hearing it or a thought being in your head or hearing the sound. Sometimes you can hear a sound that is outside of you that no one else hears, but you heard it. That's also a psychic thing too. But again, I feel like that's like a muscle. So what I would say to you is, when you are hearing a voice in your head and you're questioning, did I just make that shit up? Or is that actually really, like, did I hear that? Pause, stop what you're doing, take a deep breath, connect to your core space and say, I heard this. Did I really hear this? And wait for the confirmation, wait for the response. And is this in my head? Is this, who is this that's saying this to me? And then be aware of what shows up. Be aware. They're gonna be so excited that you have acknowledged the communication that they're going to do their best to communicate back with you. They don't want to make it hard. Their goal is not to trick us and to keep us jumping through hoops all the time. Their goal is to have successful connection and successful communication. So you can, again, flex that muscle. But absolutely, if you're hearing something, just ask. Literally, just stop everything, pause and breathe and ask, I just heard this. Is this coming from my guides? Is this coming from my higher self? Or am I making this up? Ask a question. Is this? And don't do an or question. Just ask, is this? Because you'll receive a yes or a no. You'll receive a clear yes or a clear no. And if you receive a clear no, then you want to ask a different question. If you receive a clear yes, you can say, okay, great. So thank you for that validation, or thank you for that confirmation, or okay, thank you. And who are you? And then just be open to listening for the next sentence, right? The next prompt, the next word. Again, our guides are not trying to make it difficult. Oftentimes it feels like that because we feel like we're decoding messages all the time. But once they find a path that works, that you connect with, they're going to be sending you stuff, constantly in that vein. And if you put your attention to, again, flexing that muscle, building that muscle, working that, the places you'll go is what I want to say. That's how you strengthen it and how the clarity comes into play. And you'll get to know who is speaking to you and why they're speaking to you in that regard.
All right, here we go. Ooh, I've had this one before. And it's not like someone tells you something. Sometimes it's with a loved one that's on the other side of the country. So Marco says, I sometimes get physical symptoms when someone I love is in pain. Is that telepathy? Well, I don't think it's telepathy, but I'll let you answer that.
Yeah, no, it can be a form of telepathy when you're sending out a signal, right? You're sending out an energetic emergency signal. There's a link, there's a bond between the two of you for whatever reason. And energetically, they're sending you an SOS, an energetic SOS. And sometimes that can be sending you a picture, a mental picture of what's going on. Sometimes that can be that they're sending you a sensation in your body. But absolutely, that is a psychic phenomenon, if you want to sort of call it that. It's a bond. It's an energetic bond that you have with that person. We talk about it, or we see it a lot in twins. You hear a lot about that with twins, that they can be, far apart on the other side of the country or the other side of the world from one another, but they all are tuned in to what's actually transpiring. They know when the other twin is in danger and in jeopardy. And it's not with every set of twins, but it is, I want to say, a fairly common experience that twins go through. Maybe it's connected to the fact that they share the same DNA and, how it's all split. But I also believe that there is an energetic connection. And, I don't have to be a twin with someone and shared DNA with someone. All of a sudden, I just get a hit. It used to happen all the time with an old friend of mine from my 20s. I always knew when she was pregnant. I always knew when there was something coming up. And it wasn't that we were like talking every day and we knew all the details about what was going on in each other's lives. This was like we hadn't talked for 6 months. So I didn't know, that she was trying to get pregnant. I didn't know any of the this and that and the other thing. And all of a sudden I wake up with a dream, or I just have a thought and I'm like, I got to reach out. Are you pregnant? Is this blah, blah, blah? And oh my God, I literally just found out this morning. Or I took the P test and you're, oh my God, I haven't told a soul. Like, how do you know? I can't explain it to you. I just received that information because there is an energetic bond. So on a different plane of existence, or a different dimensional energy, or a higher frequency that I'm not, consciously aware of, and that she's not consciously aware of, she was sending me that information and I was picking it up and I was reacting to it or responding to it. So absolutely, that is psychic phenomenon for sure. Mr. Neo agrees.
So psychic phenomenon, and the cat walks by. All right, everybody, that was the Am I Psychic segment. If you have questions that you want to know if you're psychic, please go ahead and leave a comment down in the comment section, and then we will get to those questions in our next segment.
Yes, and if you want to ask Mr. Neo some of those questions, he's quite psychic too. Although my Morpheus, I would say, is the more in tune to all of that. He's the one that I can tell when he's having a conversation with one of my guides around me. He's the one who's really in tune. This guy is all about okay, I need to protect my mama because there are some weird energies around. He's the protector. He's the little tiger sphinx. And Morpheus is the one who's like, oh yeah, I see you. I'm having convo with you. We're conversing. So yeah, feel free to ask some questions of Neo and Morpheus as well. And we'll see what comes up with that. What an episode that'll make, Keone.
Yeah, the Morpheus Neil episode. Okay. Do you want me to get the TikTok pet psychic on here? Jeez.
Oh God, no pet psychic. No pet psychic. No, thank you. All right, guys, that is our episode of Am I Psychic for this segment of Black Feather Couture, Divining a VIP Life. Until the next time, be well and transform well. So I get asked all the time from clients, this weird thing happened to me. Am I crazy or am I psychic? And I always want to say to them, no, you're not crazy. You're absolutely experiencing psychic phenomenon. So let's explore if you have some weirdness going on in your life that isn't saying that you're crazy, but actually means that you got some psychic ability.